Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for talking a little horror on a Wednesday, a little nasty hump day. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, welcome in, welcome in. It's going to be a fun afternoon of horror.
At Planet Fitness.
At Planet Fitness, if you if you could hear that. Baby. But we're really excited. Some crazy things happening this week. First and foremost, 28 years later, the Bone Temple trailer has arrived. Posted a little video out today. Not a whole lot of views on that video. It's okay, though. Give it a watch. YouTube's not recommending it. I just messaged some subscribers, and they're like, didn't even know that was a thing, Jake. Not even sure what you're talking about. And I'm just like, well, YouTube decided to screw the pooch on that one, but that's okay. Nothing to worry about. Check out that video, though. But anyways, the trailer rocked, and there was a lot to talk about, lots to break down about where this next installment is going to go. Fourth installment in the franchise, second in the years later trilogy here we got going on. And really interesting stuff. I think we're kind of teasing that one of these main characters is maybe going to die, maybe some sort of infected and healthy people coalition going on here, which I think is going to be fun. So lots to break down there. We may be getting ourselves a Scream 7 teaser or just regular full-on trailer by the end of the week. Not 100% sure on that. Who knows? I guess some of us will find out tomorrow during the Conjuring screening. Whatever happens, though, it's going to be exciting for sure. And then that's kind of our last big thing right there. The Conjuring: The Last Rites comes out this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Very big because it is the end. It's the end of the Conjuring universe, which has been going on for a very long time, since 2013 when that first movie dropped. I've really enjoyed a lot of the Conjuring movies, but then these last couple have been just kind of rough. I haven't exactly really loved the last few installments, so I think now is a good time to wrap it all up, tie it up all nice and neat in a bow. But anyways, what are you guys excited for in terms of horror? That's just the big stuff. Let's get into it. Let's dive into some of this crazy stuff. RJ Skarenki is with us saying, I'm still excited about Scream 7, but I believe that revealing the opening scene online this soon was a big no-no. I remember a similar situation with Scream 2 happening like this. Yeah, the ending leaked online for Scream 2, the big reveal at the end, so they had to change it. I imagine that if this opening scene, whatever it is, again, no spoilers, if it's just something that was leaked because someone saw a trailer early or something along those lines, well, we're all going to see it here likely soon, if that's the case. And if that's the case, if that's something the production wants us to see, if that's something the marketing team is okay with Scream fans seeing before this movie drops in February, so be it. That's totally fine. Then we'll talk about it openly and it'll be no problem. But if they've just leaked that from the film and that's supposed to be one big surprise, I think that would suck balls. So let's hope that's not the case. Mig on Tiv is with us too, saying, sorry I wasn't as active in the last stream. You were helping your brother, your dad and brothers clean your old house. All good. Sounds like you were busy, my friend. No worries at all. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being here today. Nathan the Ribbit is saying, hey Jake, hey Nathan. Hey Nathan the Ribbit. Our froggy friend. Wes Carpenter Flicks, thank you for being a member, saying Planet Fitness plug, nice. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear that, but a Planet Fitness ad just came over the screen right mid-sentence. So I was like, fuck it, I guess sponsored by Planet Fitness. Kidding, I'm not sponsored. Legally, I have to say that. Michael C is saying, hi Jake, hi Michael C. What does that C stand for? I need to know. Samantha Robinson, what's up? What's up? How are you? Thanks for being a member. Saying, hey, Jake, are you going to see the new Conjuring movie? Yes, review will be up on Friday. This is a pretty dang big release, let me tell you. So definitely going to be seeing that one as soon as humanly possible. And also, really fun fact, I'm seeing the movie Him early next week. Really excited for that one. Is it next week? No, it's 2 weeks from now. Sorry. It's the 17th. Yeah, I'm like, what week is it again? I don't remember. But I'm seeing the movie Him early from Monkey Paw Productions. Very thankful that I got invited to a screening of that bad boy, and I will have an early review out of that movie in just a few weeks, less than 2 weeks here. So really exciting stuff on that. Definitely give that video a watch when it drops. Unpaid Movie Critic is saying, yo, Jake, I am so ready to watch the Conjuring Last Rites. I am definitely hoping to watch it either on Thursday or Friday. I've been rewatching the series chronological order, starting with The Nun from 2018. That is not a good place to start, but chronologically, yes. My God. It's funny. I love the first two Conjuring flicks, and I love the first two Annabelles. I think those are genuinely pretty damn good movies. Annabelle Comes Home, it's a guilty pleasure. I think it's a so bad it's good, and I enjoy watching it for all the wrong reasons. The Nun movies are crazy boring. I don't know. They are slow and nothing happens, and the jump scares don't hit. I don't get the love for them. Just completely different movies than the rest of the Conjuring series is how I feel about those flicks. And then Curse of La Llorona is so bad that the people making the Conjuring movies have disowned it. So I don't even know. Is that even part of the Conjuring universe? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm not even 100% sure, but hopefully this new one is better than Conjuring 3. That's the one thing I'm really hoping for. Flamingo Productions is saying, hi, Jake. How is my horror bud doing? I'm doing okay. I'm a little bummed. I worked really hard on a video today and it didn't get any views. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Joe Walsh, baby. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I worked for like 7 hours on that, and I just was kind of hoping it's one of those things. Let me complain for like 30 seconds and then I'm done. I promise. Like, this is it. I'm gonna zip it after this. But 7 hours of work went into that video, which is like double what goes into most of the videos on here, if I'm being completely real. And it's about a movie that's super trending, highly anticipated, and it has 300 views, which I usually am at around the 1,000 mark by this point in a video's lifetime. So I'm just kind of bummed. A lot of work went into that, and I'm probably not gonna get nothing from that video, which is a big shame. Sometimes you put a lot of work into something and you don't get anything back from it, but that's just the world we live in. You can't talk about things that are trending and sometimes no one's gonna watch it. I don't know. It's crazy. It's very frustrating. I feel like the only thing I can post on this page is Scream videos. Not that I dislike Scream videos, but like, I can't, like, this is this on the trending page, you know what I mean? This is like a big movie that's coming out soon and no one's watching it. It's just like, what? It doesn't make any sense. My YouTube channel does not make sense and I can't figure it out. Okay, done. Zip. Only fun comments from Jake moving forward. I had to get it off my chest. Okay, I'm less pissed off now. I'm a little pissed. That's to answer your question. I'm just a little pissed, but I'm still in a good mood, and that's what matters. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? Fantastic. Me and my wife have finally gotten a name for our baby. We were going to name him Dewey after my wife's favorite Scream character. That's also my favorite Scream character. Very good stuff. I love it. Very solid, very solid, very solid. Good name. Little Dewbert. Just don't name him Jake. You said that on the other stream, and I'm like, dear God, please no. Oh, man, that's funny. Erica's saying, hey, what's up, Erica? Thank you for being a member. Thank you for modding throughout the stream. We appreciate that a ton. I have lost my scroll wheel. There we go. Okay. Got that back. Tylee is saying, crazy how Annabelle Comes Home is one of the most rewatchable of the bunch. It is. It's so bad, but it's so rewatchable. I love it. The characters are great, if nothing else. That's my thing about Annabelle Comes Home. I think the jump scares are hilariously bad, but like, I just love hanging out with those characters. I think there's some good there's some good folks hanging out in that one that I actually don't completely hate. Collarbone VR is saying, yo, what's up, Collarbone? Welcome in, welcome in. Froggy Fresh Shitpost is saying, hi, Jake, got a shout out on a Dead Meat video today. That is awesome. In the kill count, you got shouted out? That's awesome, dude. I saw it today, but everyone else will see it Friday because I'm a patron. Oh, it's like a new, okay. It's like whatever their next kill count video is going to be. That's sweet, dude. I'm going to have to check that out. I have not caught up on Dead Meat in a long time. I'm going to have to see some of the things they're putting out there, man. Wes Carpenter Flicks, thanks for being a member, saying, I'm going into The Conjuring blind. I don't know anything about it. Last time I did that with Bring Her Back, my wife was traumatized. That's a good one to go into blind, though, as well. Bring Her Back is, that's a mystery right there. It's freaky. Some very good stuff there. Conjuring Last Rites, honestly, I don't even know too much about it. It's kind of just about, like one of the last very popular cases from the Warrens, but it sounds like they're taking a lot of creative liberties, as they always do. But maybe even more so than usual with this one, because this is supposed to be the big emotional wrap up, you know what I mean? So I think I think this is a good one to go into blind anyways, because even though it's based on real events kind of thing, it's like they're doing their own thing. You know what I mean? So Samantha Robinson, thank you for being a member, saying also excited for the long walk. It definitely looks intense. You know what's nice? I'm totally going to talk about that one next week, as well as this movie called Traumatica. There's 2 movies coming out that weekend that I am unbelievably excited for. It's rare. See, I see a lot of horror trailers. I see a lot of them, and whenever I see something that really impresses me, that really gets under my skin, I'm like, I have to see that in theaters. And a movie that I watch all the trailers, and I kind of, on the fence about what to cover, what to watch, go to the theaters and spend my time doing. But if there's any movie where I'm just like, I need to see this, it is 100% Traumatica coming out next weekend. That trailer scared the piss out of me. That's like one of my favorite horror trailers that I've seen since probably 28 years later, the first trailer. Wow. Some pretty good stuff happening in that one. I don't know. Check that out. The Long Walk, totally prioritizing that one that weekend. Really excited to see that movie. But Traumatica, that might be my Patreon review that week. Because, dude, that movie looks fucking scary. Really excited for that. Super Tenor, thank you for the $2. I greatly appreciate you, my friend, saying, good afternoon, Jake. Talk about what you want. You know what? I needed that today. Thank you. My afternoon is much more good after you said that. I gotta say. I don't know. You would think one of the most highly anticipated horror sequels. I could talk about that and be fine. But no, you never know. Again, can't complain. You guys are fantastic, though, really making my day so much better. I appreciate it, Super Tenor. Thank you for the support, my friend. A Krenich is well throwing 5 out there, saying, seeing the Long Walk premiere and got a shirt with the MC's number on it. Can't wait. MC, the main character's number on it. Gotcha. That's awesome, dude. Rock on, rock on. I hope I can see that one early, too. I'll have to pull some strings, send some emails, see what I can do. Because that one looks pretty damn good. It's got really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think what I like so much about that story in particular is that it's learning everything about this insane dystopian world of horror from just this one event. That's something that I've always loved about the story, and I'm excited to see how they bring that to the screen. And hopefully it's done very well. Seems like it has from those very positive reviews we're hearing from Rotten Tomatoes, however. Thank you for the 5 credits. You're also throwing another one out there saying, literally bought earplugs for Long Walk because shots get a visceral reaction out of me, but I have to see my fave King book. That's your favorite King book? Love it. I love that. Yes, gunshots can be kind of freaky in horror movies, I feel, especially in today's world. I feel especially sometimes in movies when they're cranked up, like it gets even more like, whoa, like, oh shit. I feel that though. I completely, there's this movie called Watcher that right at the end, like the whole movie is pretty quiet, but right at the end you get like just a few rounds that are squeezed off, and I don't want to say any more than that without spoiling it. But oh my god, it is like that whole movie is like kind of the tension building to this explosive finale, and then you're just like petrified by the last like 5 minutes of that one. Crazy. But that just made me think of that. I just remember being like totally petrified watching those last few minutes, like, ugh, oh my god. Freaked me out, dude. And it's literally just gunshots. Like, I mean, it's not even that doesn't sound like the most crazy thing you can put into a horror movie, but you can make that shit terrifying. So love it. A Krenich, I totally understand that. Thank you again for the support. Sometimes I have to put earplugs in when I'm sleeping because like just like a fan is too loud or something. So trust me, I get it. No worries there. Cryptic Haze is still hanging out with us, saying, not still hanging out with us, just hanging out with us. And you said still waiting for the Crooked Man film. One day, maybe. James Wan said they kind of canceled that project, which is such a bummer, dude. I would have loved to have seen that. I thought that was such a great side antagonist in The Conjuring 2. That might be the best Conjuring flick, although I have a major soft spot for Annabelle Creation. I think that's my personal favorite. Objectively, maybe the Conjuring 2 is the best one, though. I love The Conjuring 2. It's awesome. Mr. Go Animator is saying, hey, Jake, your favorite Final Destination actor? I mean, it's got to be Tony Todd. You know what I mean? I love Tony Todd from so many things, not even just Final Destination. Oh, man. Yet to be disappointed by a Tony Todd performance that I've seen. Rest in peace, baby. what else is going on? Who else is with us? We got Jacob Dean saying, when do you think the trailer is out? I'm thinking between the 4th to the 7th. Don't know why. I think if the trailer does come out for, I know you're probably talking about Scream. If that does end up coming out, I would imagine it would be before The Conjuring Last Rites. If we don't see it tomorrow, I think it's probably going to play before some other movie coming up in the future. That would be my guess. I don't know why they would release it like this weekend opposed to like with The Conjuring. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't make sense to me otherwise. What else is going on here? We got Mandy Jean hanging out with us saying, hell yeah, I'm planning a special day to see it when it comes out because it's also my favorite King book. I just re-listened to the audiobook in prep. It's a very good one. I almost kind of forgot about The Long Walk until I didn't recently reread it, but seeing the movie and stuff, it's gotten the noodle working again. Honestly, last book I read half of which one is it? Skeleton Crew from Mr. King, his collection of short stories there. That one's really good. Really enjoyed that one quite a bit. Why do I not remember which one The Long Walk story? Oh no, that's just why did I think this was part of a short story? Yeah, no. Oh no, it's in the Bachman books. That's how I read it. It's in the omnibus. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, love The Long Walk. Very good one for Mr. King when I used to read back in the day when I had time for that fun stuff. Anyways, we got A. Krenich saying, Mandy, I am too. Also, my name is Amanda, so hey. What's up, Amanda? Now I know. That's what that A stands for. There we go. In the context of it, that's going to bother me. Action movie rounds, I'm fine, but this is different. Yeah, when it's a little scarier. I feel like when it's a little more horror-oriented, it's a little more freaky. I totally feel that. Faith Dorn is saying, hey, Jake, hey, Chad. Hope everybody is having a great Wednesday. Same to you, Faith. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let us know what horror movie you're the most excited for coming up on the horizon here. If it's Conjuring this week, not next week, it's literally a couple of days. For some, tomorrow. Long Walk next week and Traumatica. I'm going to keep talking about that one because I'm really excited for it. And also Him the week after that. Strangers Chapter 2. Whole bunch of stuff is on the horizon. Gory Tiger saying, what up, what up, what up, what up? Who's excited for Scary Movie 6? What is that? Raptor Crasher Incorporated is saying, I plan on making a horror movie with a guy trapped in a supernatural prison where he tries to get out, but every time he dies, he wakes up back in his cell. Ugh. That's awful. I kind of like the Labyrinth vibes of that, though. Kind of makes me, kind of feels like a Fate Worse Than Death, which is like scarier than anything to me. I love that. Have you seen Hellboy 19? Yes, I have. It's actually pretty decent, more horror and action than the Del Toro movies. I did not hate it as much as everybody else did. That's what I'm going to say. I definitely, hate is a strong word. I did not feel that way about this film. I think I liked the Del Toro movies just a little more for me personally. I think I have some nostalgia with those. And I also just love the actors in that flick. I have a soft spot for Del Toro's very weird, fantastical charm too, I guess. Something about the way he makes movies I really enjoy. But the 2019 movie, I definitely did not like. Critics ripped that one apart. You know what I mean? I definitely didn't feel quite that nasty on that one. Didn't feel like it was a waste of time by any means. I agree. What definitely was a little more horror and actiony. That third act was totally insane with that movie. Loved that. So no, there was definitely some fun to be had with it. I'm excited to see that David Harbour's finally kicking off his movie career. a little more than what that movie unfortunately did not do for him. Jace Crawford is hanging out with us. Thank you for being a member, saying yo, yo, yo. At work again, but caught you earlier today. Conjuring 4 this week, and I'm iffy. My girlfriend is very excited, though. Villain looks terrifying. I have to say, that first initial piece of marketing for The Conjuring, I was just like, this looks bad. Like, I'm like, what? This is just another bad Conjuring flick. I do not like the way that one monster looks. It looks like something out of like an Instagram reel or something, like something that someone would make in Blender, in like 5 minutes. It looks so bad. That one, you know what I'm talking about too. If you've seen that initial trailer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It looks so bad. I'm like, that looks so out of place in a Conjuring movie. It's like they're trying to make one of those Instagram reels with people looking around the corner and there's some like really fucked up, scary looking face. They're trying to put that into The Conjuring now. And I'm just like, what? No. So that initial trailer did not have me hyped, but I've been really enjoying a lot of the clips they're releasing, and I really hope that's not the best part of of this entire flick, because I really want another good Conjuring movie. I really enjoy a lot of, like, there's 4 really solid Conjuring movies in my opinion, and I wish we could get at least one more like that. I'm really hoping that this is it. Keeping my fingers crossed this isn't a Conjuring 3 situation again, but we will see. We will see with a new review coming out soon. I have not seen the Hellboy Crooked Man movie. I know what you're talking about. That's a little more recent. I have not gotten around to watching that one. I got nothing about it. David Primero, thank you for the $2. Really appreciate the support. Saying, hey Jake, what do you think of the new Dead by Daylight killer Krasow? I saw like a picture of the fella. I don't know anything else besides that. I'm gonna have to play some Dead by Daylight this week. I was actually planning on doing that tomorrow over on the gaming channel, so definitely come check that out. Go subscribe to the gaming channel, by the way, GullGotha. We're almost at 1,100 subs. That'd be pretty damn cool. We're only like 30 away from that. So go subscribe to GullGotha. Go make it happen. We're playing DBD on Thursday tomorrow, so stop on by. It'll be a good time. What do I think of the new killer? Well, I guess we're gonna face off and fight him tomorrow. If he's a new killer, I'm sure people are gonna be playing him. So we'll see. We'll see what's up with all that. I'm excited. I love a lot of the Dead by Daylight killers, though, dude. There's a ton of them where I'm like, you could base a whole movie off of this. Like, this should be a slasher movie. Some really cool stuff with some of those killers. You know, some of them are based off of the stereotypes or some already established killers, whatever. You know, you have like, I think there's like a clown, a southern fellow with a chainsaw kind of thing, but there's like, you know, then there's like the, what is it, the robot that's also like half, it's like a cyborg thing, but it's like a big monster. It's like flesh and metal like combined. It's like, this should be a movie. And I'm not talking about Tetsuo the Iron Man. I'm saying like this should be a slasher. Like this should be a fucking crazy slasher villain right here. I'm loving this. So I some of those killers are awesome, I guess is my point. Some really cool stuff happening in Dead by Daylight. Really fun game. David, again, thank you for the 2. I really appreciate it, man. Especially on days like this when my video bombs. Oh, whoops, I said I wasn't going to bring it up again. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's gone again. Eric is hanging out with us saying, hey Jake, how goes it? It goes quite well, let me tell you. Just watched your Terrifier kill tier. Great stuff. Nice, thank you. I'm glad you watched that. That was really fun to do with everybody the other night. That was a good time. I'm still trying to figure out what to do for Friday in terms of basically what I want to do for another tier list. We Fridays have been tier list streams, and those have been a ton of fun. So I really want to get another one in this weekend. I was gonna do like a Conjuring based thing, but I don't really know like what could we rank that would take like as long as the lives. Like, I feel like if I just do like the 9 movies, we're gonna be done in like 30 minutes. We're gonna be done in less than 30 minutes. What's the point of that? I might as well make like a movie just. A video just ranking all the movies. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out what to rank this weekend. Maybe with it being spooky season, we could do something Halloween themed. That could be fun. Halloween the franchise. I mean, that is. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out. But definitely leave me more suggestions down in the comments, down in the chat. We'll try to figure something out. That would be fun. Enzo was saying, Jake, have you seen the new video game Chronos New Dawn? I read about that recently. I've been trying to do some updates over on the gaming channel about different horror video games. You might have seen some of those come across your way there. I would absolutely love to get into that though. There was another one. What is it? Hell is Us. That was really cool. I saw that and I'm like, ooh, that looks sick. That looks like a really fun and interesting game. Kind of got like a Souls-like feel to it with just not a ton of artificial help. That was like the one big thing about it that I thought was cool. Like, there's no compass telling you where to go. You kind of got to figure it out yourself. And I'm like, oh, okay, I vibe with that. If there was just like one more hour in the day, I would play so many more video games. There's so many that come out and you don't even realize it. It's just like, oh shit, cool stuff, man. Great stuff all around. Erica's saying, I haven't watched a Marvel movie in forever. Some of the most recent ones I actually really enjoyed. You know, I've gone to the theater to see some Marvel movies and felt like I wasted my time. But then some of these new ones, not bad at all, honestly. I really enjoyed Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, both very good in my opinion. So some good stuff. Some good stuff there. Captain Toki is saying they should make a Dead by Daylight movie, kind of like the 13th Ghost, and slowly reveal them. Ooh, I know they're doing a Dead by Daylight movie, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. You know, that's the question. Are they gonna do all original character? I mean, it has to be all original characters, right? You can't just have all those different licenses all come together. Even though it would probably be huge, crazy horror fan service that I'm sure people would totally want to show up for. But I imagine it's got to be the original killers running around. It's probably gonna be like Until Dawn would be my guess, like the Until Dawn movie, how they handled that. The idea of all these different kinds of horrors all actually existing in the same space, and you just have to survive it. It's probably gonna be something along those lines would be my guess. But they are doing a Dead by Daylight movie. They announced that a few years ago. We haven't had a big update on it recently, but it's coming. They're making it. It's just probably taking a little longer than one might think. Big reason I know it's going to happen though is because, well, one, Dead by Daylight's a very big video game property in the horror world, and then also just video game movies are like trending big time right now. A very big thing happening right now. So I can't imagine they would skip out on that. You know what I mean? Unless there was some horrible behind the scenes creative differences or something. I mean, even Until Dawn, which is such a far cry from what that video game ultimately is, that still got made, and to my knowledge, it still did pretty well at the box office. Like, maybe not like, holy shit, we're gonna make 100 of these well, but to my knowledge, it was like profitable, right? Fact check me on that. I don't know. Kyle Brandon is saying, hey, Jake, have you seen the new killer on Dead by Daylight? Shit, I got to get on Dead by Daylight tonight, guys. Honestly, that might be, if I do a gaming stream tonight, that might be what I do. Play some Dead by Daylight. It's been far too long since I was on that game. It's from, everyone's talking about it. It's from Thai folklore, and it's a woman with a head and intestines out. I love it. 10 out of 10. I'm invested. Intestines outside of the body? Okay, you piqued my interest. Let's go. Love it, love it. Time to roll a J on the stream. You know what? You're so right, Casper's eye socket. After the week I've had, I could really use one of those. Luddy Network is saying, I hope you are loving your new place. I really am. Actually, it's been very nice. It's weird. I can't talk too much trash about my hometown, but I will say moving to a new city and interacting with different groups of people, it's really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I don't want to talk too much trash, but it's interesting how you move to like just a different kind of city, and it's just like people are so much nicer here than where I was previously, and you're just like, wow, that's shocking. Just a really shocking revelation that I guess I've had, which is interesting. But I'm loving this new place. Loving every interaction I've had with people has just been so much more positive than in small town USA. Which maybe that's a weird, unique thing to my situation. But man, town that I just moved from, like, I swear, no one wanted to even look you in the eye, kind of thing. You went into public, you tried to start up a conversation, it was like, yeah. I'm a very social person. That's my problem. I like talking to people, and then when people don't like talking to me, I'm just like, well, fuck you. So it's funny. I moved somewhere where more people are social, and it's nice. It's like, yes, finally, more people who actually want to converse. Yak the gum and all that. Raptor Crasher Incorporated is saying, I'm most excited for 28 years later, the Bone Temple. At least someone is. At least someone fucking is out there. I should do a Dead by Daylight killer tier list. Maybe I should. That would be kind of fun. There's a lot of those guys, too. There's a lot of killers in that game. I gotta move forward in the chat a little bit. Jace is saying, ranking every Michael Myers death scene, even if it's a fake out death. There's one for like every movie. Fake out deaths for pretty much every movie, yeah. pretty much every one except for like 2, right? I think he only dies in Halloween 2, Rob Zombie, and Halloween Ends. I think that's the only 2 movies where he actually like dies straight up. Raggedy Man is with us. Thanks for being a channel member, dude. Saying, have you heard of the comic Hack and Slash? I think you dig it. That sounds crazy familiar, but no, I have not actually read through that. I feel like I've heard that before. Hack and Slash. That just sounds really familiar to me. Cruel ZV is saying, I quit DBD because of the new update. I hate it. Ruined Myers and ruined killer playability. Interesting. Okay. I'm a pretty fresh player to Dead by Daylight, so I guess I don't know that as much. I've really only just in the last like year or so I started playing Dead by Daylight. I've been trying to play it more on the gaming channel, but like Madison hates it. Like capital H hates that game. Like it is like one of her least favorite video games that she's ever played, is what she said to me. And I would love to play more of it. I feel like it's a pretty popular game. I personally I enjoy it. It's maybe not my favorite video game ever, but I vibe with it. It is a very fun game to play every now and then. Gets a little repetitive, but still fun. I would love to get into it a little more though, for sure. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying found footage Outlast movie would be terrifying. I could get into that. Would be down for an Outlast movie. Ty Lee is saying I forgot if The Medium is Thai or Indonesian. I don't know. The Medium. I don't think I've seen that one. Samantha Robinson is saying, Jake, I still think that Scream is overusing Sydney in the franchise. Seriously, is everyone trying to kill this chick or what? I think that it would be so funny if that was the killer's motive, though. If we're literally making fun of that, that's the one way it would really work for me. in Scream 7, I'd be like, that's really funny. Because like we all have that thought, Samantha. That's the thing. Like even people who love Sidney Prescott are like, okay, so this is like the sixth group of fellas who really wanted to kill Sidney. What's going on here? At a certain point, you got to start scratching your head and being like, what's going on? You know, so I just feel like if we had a Ghostface with literally just the motive of we just want to kill Sidney because so many people have tried and failed, that's hilarious. Like that is so funny to me. I would be very into something like that. That would it would kind of turn a criticism of a film into something where it's like, okay, now we're kind of laughing at ourselves a little bit. We're kind of having a good time with how ridiculous this concept has ultimately become. I would be very into something like that. That would be very self-referential, very understanding of what that would, to me, that just tells me that Scream 7 knows what it is, and that I could really get on board with something like that. Film, you have to convince me that your story is the good story to tell. It's the right story to tell, I should say. With every sequel to anything, you got to convince people that this was the right direction. You know, you can just say like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make Terrifier a Christmas movie for part 3, but why? Do you have a good reason for it? You know, can you convince me that was a good direction to take your franchise? I would argue Terrifier 3 does, but can Scream 7 convince me that shifting back to a Sydney story, was that the right move? Could they do it with something like this where it's like, oh, okay, this is actually purposeful and not just a way of putting butts in seats? That could be fun. I could very much so get on board with that. So I would love to see something like that happen. That would just be, I need something like that to convince me this was the right direction to go with Scream 7. Because Samantha, I agree. And I think if they just try to hide that, I think if they just try to be like, well, Ghostface is always going after Sidney, obviously, it's just like, okay, well, that's no fun. Now we're not having fun. You know, I want to have fun. What else is going on? Riley Rage is saying, do you think it is more likely that we get a Scream prequel or a Scream remake? A Scream prequel would just be like, how would we do that? That would be so much money. So much money in de-aging people and stuff. You would have to cast new actors and actresses to play these same roles, and I don't think people would like that. I'm gonna be honest. I think people would rebel, would revolt. They'd burn down some buildings, I think, if they decided to cast somebody else as Stu Macher or whatever. I mean, it's like what's going on with Harry Potter right now. People are like, why are they making this new series? What's the point? They're just doing the same thing again. It's like, it looks exactly like the movies. What's the point of doing the series except for money? You know what I mean? And Scream prequel, I feel like it's something that we could just do in a flashback in one of these new movies. I feel like 7's probably getting into that too. And a remake, I feel like we don't need a remake of Scream. I feel like that's kind of already happened with Scream 4 in a weird sort of way, in Scream's own unique way. So I don't think we need either of those projects. I would rather see just like some sort of, just keep continuing. I feel like Scream works best when it's set in whatever year it comes out. Does that make sense? I feel like Scream kind of has to. Because what could a Scream prequel, like you could do a Scream prequel where it's like, okay, we're doing commentary from a long time ago, but then it's a little less relatable. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going to be great about Scream 7 is that whatever it is, there's hopefully going to be a relatability factor to it. It's like, okay, yeah, this is totally things going on in my brain watching modern horror that's being expelled throughout this narrative. You know, I can vibe with the commentary here. And see, if Scream 7's getting into some AI commentary, that's very fresh. You know, if you made a movie about AI back in 2019, I might be scratching my head and being like, why is Scream talking about AI? Like, that's something in 2019, Jake would say, like, that's not even something that's really that advanced yet. You know what I mean? Right. But the fact that it's doing it now, it's like, ooh, okay. Scream movies are fun because I feel like they're little time capsules. Like, I feel like I can go back and watch Scream 4 and be like, I can put myself in that space of 2011 and that state of horror, what that looked like. So whatever Scream project comes next, I hope it's able to capture that same energy. Ashy Slashy is saying, well, what's up with Evil Dead Burn and the other untitled Evil Dead movie? Great question. What the fuck is up with that? What the fuck is up, Denny's? Come on now. No, seriously, we need an update on that big time. I know they were shooting it, recently, and it's coming out next summer. We don't have a whole bunch of updates on that, unfortunately, though. It would be nice to learn something, because I'll tell you what, really excited for that one. Really excited for some Evil Dead Burn, baby. I loved Rise. I had a great time with Rise. It's not my favorite Evil Dead movie in the bunch, but it's a goddamn good one. Tell you what. Ooh, it's good. Dean Renner, what's up? What's up, dude? How's it going, Dean? Thanks for being a channel member. I'm fighting an internal battle with this cup of coffee right now, so I'm gonna drink some water. How are you doing, Dean? How are you today? Are you feeling very Rennery? I'm just kidding. Chris is hanging out with us. Thanks for the 5. Saying, what do you think of the idea of if Dale dies? I've been watching too much King of the Hill. If Gail dies, she unmasked one of the killers in her last moments for Scream 7. Would love to see that. So it's like she sacrifices herself, but reveals one of the killers early. I would love something like that. I think that could be very fun. I gotta watch my tongue here. I would love to, if Gail dies, I hope that it's for the reason of sacrificing herself for others, because I think where we're at with Gail's character right now, and something that I want to see shift, I want to see a shift in her character with this next one, because she's sort of resorting back to her old self. But let's examine the events of Scream 6, right? She does that. We learn that she's kind of resorted back to writing about Ghostface and making money off of that, profiting again, yada, yada, whatever. And then what happens? Ghostface comes for her. She gets the worst injury of all 6 of those movies. As close to death, probably, as she's come. So what does she learn from that? What happens next in Scream 7? Well, hopefully she, is maybe trying to be a better person this time around, trying to stop Ghostface more than anything, not as much as trying to write her next book or write her next piece, whatever. So I could totally get into something like that. The idea that, she kind of jumps in front of the bullet, but stops a Ghostface. And then we get that reveal, like maybe halfway through the movie. That would be nuts. Ooh. Chris, I like that idea a lot. That would be a lot of fun. Thank you for the $5 though, my friend. I would love to see that too. Very good stuff. Thank you for the support again. Eric Zigranis, I'm just butchering that. I'm so sorry. Looking forward to Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. Love the 84 original. Punish. I love that one too. It's very fun. It's one of my favorite Christmas horror flicks. I've seen it a few times. Eric, you just became a member too. Thank you so much for that support. Becoming a member is the best way to support this page, ladies and gentlemen. I know you hear me say it at the top of every video, but that's because it's true. And also, we have some really fun review videos that come out every single Friday exclusively for members. So definitely check those out. I'm really excited for this Friday too, because not only are we talking about The Conjuring, but we're also talking about motherfucking Jaws. And I can't wait to get into that. It's going to be a very fun video. I'm still writing it, still trying to figure out where to take that one, but it's going to be good nonetheless. Super Tenor saying, I met Gabrielle Gabriel Eccles from Evil Dead Rise. She is awesome. So maybe it's Gabrielle. Why do I not know that name? Why do I not know which person that is? Hang on now. Stop the presses. Oh, Bridget. Okay. You met Bridget basically. That's awesome. She's awesome, huh? That's sick. That's sick as fuck. That was a big thing about this movie that I thought was just really excellent, is I just loved the entire cast. Like every character from that movie really worked for me. I felt really bad when any of them got possessed and started going crazy, especially when Bridget starts eating glass on the counter, which is honestly kind of a funny shot, if I'm being real. Like when she's like, I don't know how else to explain this except for just to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's the only way I can think to explain that. Sorry, that's the only way I can think to explain that. That just cracks me up, dude. Her chomping on the glass like that. I'm just like, this is literally me eating a midnight snack in the middle of the. This is how my fiance finds me at 3 a.m. eating salami out of the meat drawer. And I just think that's very funny. See, Mandy Jean said she squatted, Jake. You could have just said squatted, but it's not a squat though. She gets up on the counter. You don't squat on the counter unless I don't know. Maybe you do. No judgment. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. No, I'm just kidding. But I've just always thought that was a very funny shot. I love it. Eating salami in the kitchen at 3 a.m. Josh999 is saying Gail be a better person. Yeah, right. I mean, wouldn't it be a very fitting way to conclude her arc, though? She's been so shitty her whole life and then just jumps in front of the bullet, essentially. Like, it's like, oh my God, arcs have been completed. I feel like that's kind of why she's so drawn to Dewey throughout these movies, though, is because she wants, there's that want inside of her to be a better person, even though her default is not that. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like she has, that's why Dewey and Gail's whole romance works so well, is because they're both drawn to each other, but they're also repulsed by each other in different ways too. Like Gail's very career focused, where, you know, Dewey's maybe a little more of a family man kind of vibe. So I don't know. I think they're opposites, but that's why they attract. And I think that's why their romance works so well in so many of those movies. So Gail wants to be a better person, but, you know, is she? And without Dewey around, it's harder for that to happen, I feel. Mr. Go Animator is saying, hey, Jake, which Marvel character would have a confrontation with death from Final Destination? I would say Spider-Man. Would love to see him use his spidey senses to avoid death. He would be like the best character in a Final Destination movie. He would just like, you know, and just like whip something out of the way that was coming right for him. He would be fine. This is why we don't have superheroes in Final Destination, though, because then it wouldn't be as fun. Everybody would be fine. Everyone would be saved. That's really funny, though. I like the idea of doing some supernatural curse shit in a Marvel movie, though. Why, you know, I'm actually kind of at the point with Marvel. I've been at this point for a long time, and maybe many have, but like, why is every single movie about some hero trying to save the world from getting destroyed? Why is every single, like, could you imagine if every single horror movie that came out was about just a guy running around stabbing and killing people? It's not every movie is about that. Not every horror movie is about that. Maybe that's why the horror genre is still attracting so many people with original movies, where you know, superheroes have to remake everything and bring back heroes from hundreds of years ago. But hey, you know, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's a controversial take. Maybe that's just me spitballing here. But it is odd. It is odd how they just do the same thing every single time. I would love a little bit of just something like that. Spider-Man has to fucking deal with a death curse. You know what I mean? Like, and go ask his friend Doctor Strange to stop it or some bullshit. I mean, like, that's the Doctor Strange and Spider-Man story that I want to see. Everything is world-ending stakes with some crazy villain, and it's just like, I'm so sick of that, man. Give me something, give me anything else. Give me a smaller story, honestly. I want to see Spider-Man like do his fucking laundry. Is that ridiculous? Like, I'm actually at the point where I would go see a movie about Spider-Man doing his laundry because it's just not the same thing we've seen every single time. That would be an ambitious swing for Marvel to do a movie where it's no world-ending stakes, no bad guy, just Spider-Man can't fucking get his suit washed. How is he supposed to swing across town now? I would do some disgusting things to see that movie because I just think it's so funny. But anyways, Josh is saying, as much as I disliked Gale, I do not want to see her die. It'll destroy me. It sounds like you really like Gale, though. See, Josh, I think we're figuring some stuff out here. I think there is actually some love for Gale, whether you like it or not. What else is going on? Erica is saying, I was actually rooting for Thanos to wipe out half of humanity, but was kind of pissed Iron Man went. That, you know, he can wipe out most of these characters, but not Iron Man. That, you know, I gotta say, that's kind of how I feel about those movies. I love the Iron Man flicks. Those are so fun. I honestly, all three of them, I don't even care. The first one's the best. Two's whatever, and three's, you know, kind of better. But I don't know. I'm like take or leave whatever other movies. But I actually do kind of like Winter Soldier. The Thor movies I could care less about. I don't care about those. Captain America, like I said, the second one. And what else is there? I'm trying to think, really trying to pull here from like the early phase. I don't know. The first Iron Man though, that was like, okay, that was awesome, but I'm good. Anyways, we're back to horror. Sean P. Tattoos is saying, Jake, sorry I'm late. It's all good. No worries. Thank you for hanging out with us now, Sean. Let us know what you're tattooing today. What skin you're inking up. Thanos should start a GoFundMe. I'm starting to think he was onto something. Jesus. Pat and Jester just got here saying had some wrestling news to catch up on. And we learned that you're not, in fact, a wrestler. You're just a fan of wrestling. So to clarify, that is awesome, though. I'm glad that you got caught up on the wrestling news. What's going on in the world of wrestling? I couldn't tell you. I'm not really steeped in all that stuff. But let us know. Let us horror fans know what's going on with the world of wrestling. Jesus, that's awful, Mr. Go Animator. Yeah, I'm not gonna hit on that because that feels a little dark for this chat, but I see what you're saying. For Misery Gaming is saying Spider-Man Brand New Day will be a lot different though, with Hulk and Punisher in the movie as somewhat anti-heroes to Spider-Man. That could be interesting. I'd be down to check that out. I didn't hate the last Spider-Man movie, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like after the first time you see it, like I don't care. No Way Home is one of those movies where the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh, no way, Tobey Maguire. I love Tobey Maguire. And then I saw it again and I'm just like, this movie sucks. Like this is actually awful. I don't know, man. That was the first time I really got baited by nostalgia. I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, grew up with them, like the first superhero I really fell in love with. I went to the theater so excited because I heard the rumors that maybe he was in there, and like it was cool, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, this movie isn't actually good. It's just Tobey Maguire's in it as Spider-Man again. And that's what really bummed me out about it, is it's like this could have been handled so well. It's like the return of one of my favorite superheroes ever, and it's like, damn, you butchered it, is how I feel about it now. So I don't know. I just feel that's my thing about nostalgia baiting, man. It's I've been fooled once and I won't be fooled again. So it's because of Spider-Man No Way Home that I get extra anal about that kind of stuff. But anyways, Sean is saying if you had to make a $100 bet on if Scream 7 trailer gets released in September or November, which one are you picking? I'm starting to really think that the trailer is out there, but it's weird. Here's the thing, right? I truly trust in viewer Anon. This is a guy over on Twitter. I don't know who it is. Someone over on Twitter who has been talking Scream for as long as I've been talking Scream. Essentially, has been leaking things from studios and all that fun jazz. Keeps themselves anonymous, as you can tell from the name. They have been right about so much stuff. Like out of all the third-party sources that I talk about, viewer Anon is the most consistent. And what he says is that the trailer is not out there yet. It's coming in November based on his sources. Here's the thing though. I've seen things from the interwebs out there based on these leaks that are coming out. Because, anyone can come out and say, like, hey, this thing is happening in Scream 7. And, oh, no, the opening scene is leaked. No, that I've seen a picture of something. And I'm like, okay, well, that has to be legit. I don't think it was AI generated. It looked legit to me. It looked like it was real footage from Scream 7. And it makes me think that this is the actual trailer. Whatever that opening scene that's been teased and talked about, it's something that is probably in this trailer. So that makes me think, where did that leak from? It's not coming from the source. I doubt that the people working on the movie are leaking it out to the public. Maybe they are, but I doubt it. Where this usually comes from is people from movie theaters who get the trailers before flicks that arrive in theaters. So like The Conjuring, for instance, and they'll post it online. They'll talk about it and they'll say, oh, shit, this happens. And then we all know about it like basically a week or two before it comes out. How do you think the killers leaked from, was it Scream 5? Scream 5, the killers leaked. I remember, and it was a whole thing. We were censoring chats and stuff to make sure nobody saw it. And I just feel, I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe the trailer is attached to the Conjuring Last Rites and they're marketing early. I wouldn't be. Here's the thing. There's a lot of reasons why I feel like they could be marketing the film way earlier than the last two flicks too. Because if the trailer comes out this weekend, that's like almost 6 months of marketing that we would have ahead of us for the flick. But Scream 7 is different than Scream 5 and 6 in terms of what they're ultimately trying to do with it. Screams 5 and 6 were celebrations of flicks. There was a little bit of like a small little bit of controversy with Scream 6, but it was nowhere near as bad as how Scream 7 has gotten. How far we've fallen from from the excitement of Scream 5 essentially. But they didn't need to do all the extra stuff that they did with 5 and 6, but because they did that, it reaped some pretty big rewards. I mean, both of those movies were incredibly profitable. If you saw my last Scream video, I actually put the numbers of what the budgets were based on what they made, and it's like, dude, I mean, you do the math on that, they made a lot of money. Even if they did have some extensive marketing campaigns, they definitely made some money. There's no doubt about it in my mind. So for me, I think what's going on with the studio, if they are actually marketing this weekend, which I am starting to say I'd bet $100 on, would be this weekend. What's going on there is I think that they're just trying to market the fuck out of this to get butts in seats so that people come check it out, so that the bad press with the film goes away and people can get back to loving and being excited for Scream again. That's what I think is honestly going on. I think we're doubling the marketing campaign with this one to make sure that their flagship horror series is still exactly that. I mean, we've talked on this page before about how Scream 8 is already in production. I mean, they allegedly already have a script for the next movie. They are talking about doing a spin-off with Kirby Reed. I mean, this isn't for nothing. Like, they're not doing that just because they're like, let's make another Screams. Fuck it, let's do it. No, they're not saying fuck it, we'll do it live. They're doing that because Scream is making a lot of money. And if Scream 7 doesn't make any money and they got 2 more movies in the works, well, those are gone. Those are to the wayside. They need Scream 7 to work so that they can keep making these. So my guess, honest to God, is that I'm leaning towards we'll get a trailer this weekend, because I think the studio is nervous. That's my genuine guess. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Jeremiah Morales throwing $2 out there. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. I appreciate that. Saying, have you had interactions with 3C Films or Cody Leach? I have tried to get in contact with Cody Leach, have not heard anything back from him. Maybe he just never saw my messages. That's my guess. But 3C Films has reached out to me a few times, and he is a very cool dude. I love Chris. Chris actually gave me a big shout out in a video one time, and that meant the world to me. I'll tell you what. So he's awesome. I love Chris a ton. And I think he's great. I think I can't wait to see him hit 1 million subscribers one day. That's going to be awesome. But he's one of the big reasons I got into this in the first place, man. I was watching his channel for a long time, and I was just like, this is awesome. Like, this guy rocks. I gotta do something along those lines. I never watched his other stuff. I just watched his horror stuff though. And that's why I was like, I'm gonna make my channel horror movie updates, and that's it. There we go. Bam. But I do love his page quite a bit. 3C is awesome. Cody's great too. I'd love to work with him on something one day. I think he's a great. He does reviews really well. I just really like the way he talks about movies. And I would love to get in on something with him one day too. ASMR Ty is saying, Jake, side note, can you give me words of wisdom? Hope I keep my John. Your job is all. Listen, my friend. Mind over matter with everything. You can literally do anything in this life. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That is the truth about it. Somehow I made my goofy little YouTube channel my job. Somehow I made talking about horror movies my main source of income. If me, a greasy nobody from middle of nowhere, Ohio, can do that, you can keep your job, my friend. I promise. You can make this happen, ASMR Ty. Mind over matter. Believe that you can do it first, and then go on and do it. That's the most important thing in this life. You truly have to believe that you can do it. I think that's one of the best lessons, even though it sounds repetitive. It sounds like something anyone would say. It is so goddamn true. That's why it sounds repetitive, is because you need to understand, you need to believe in yourself. Something that I do every single morning. I do this every morning, ASMR Ty. I tell myself, Jake, you're pretty fucking cool. And I know that sounds hokey. I know that sounds corny and stupid, but I give myself a daily affirmation every time I wake up. It's the first thing I do. You know what I used to do in the morning? And maybe some of you do this. I used to get on this fucking thing. I used to just go scroll, look at how awful the world looks. And that sucked. Don't do that, my friends. Trust me, don't make that the first thing you do in the day. When you wake up, make the first thing that you do something positive. If you can do that, you will have a better day, I promise. First thing you do in the morning, just something positive. Make yourself a cup of coffee. I don't know. Play a song that you really like. Just do something positive for yourself. That's one of the best things that you can possibly do for your own mental health and all that fun stuff. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm rambling at this point. Michael Sokol is saying, what is Gory or Terrifier sequel? What's the Gory or Terrifier sequel in your opinion? 2 or 3? So, fuck, with the Gorier sequel? I'm going to say, okay, hang on. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2. Terrifier 2 is gorier. Because, I mean, just from the Clown Cafe sequence alone, I feel like we can kind of say that. On top of the great kills. But I feel like Terrifier 3 is scarier. Does that make sense? Like, the kills in Terrifier 3 upset me more than the kills in Terrifier 2. I don't know if that's because the effects got even better across movies or what, but there's just something about Terrifier 3 that is just like, it breaks me to my core. I'm just like, this is awful to watch, and I love it. Terrifier 2, the same thing for sure, but I feel like they even stepped it up a notch. They turned it from 10 to 11, moving from Terrifier 2 to 3. So 2 is gorier. I feel like there's just genuine more splatter in T2 off the top of my head, but T3 has the scarier kills. I would not want any of those to happen to me over well, the bedroom kill is pretty fucking bad, but dude, every kill in Terrifier 3 is the bedroom kill for me personally. Erica throwing $2 out there. Thank you so much. Thank you. I only need 3 more to hit the goal. Can we do that in literally 60 seconds? Let's see it, people. Oh, intense, down to the wire. Let's see what we can do. Anyways, Kyle Gordon, our penguin friend, is saying, good afternoon, my dear friend. I am tired of social media spoilers. Wish sometimes we were back to 96 when Scream came out. No spoilers, then have a good day. I agree. I wish we could get back to spoiler-free times, but that's not the world we live in, unfortunately. But you can get so much attention if you spoil movies online. It's crazy. It kind of upsets me a little bit. Like, I feel like that's the one, that's why people put it on Reddit, you know, that's why people put it out there, and it's just kind of like, stop. Hey, don't do that. I don't know. It bums me out a little bit, but hey, we'll see. We'll see if that's all true or not. This weekend's going to be interesting, talking Scream. See if there's any trailers or not. Mandy Jean threw $1 out there. Let's go. Love to see it. N times dollar. That's so funny. We only made it to 8 out of 10. That's okay. It's no problem. We'll hang out for another. Well, we got to go for a full hour at the very least here. Jake, what do you think about Andrew Garfield being in a Final Destination movie? Yeah, he's great. He's an awesome actor. I could totally see him being in Final Destination. He's very versatile. I watched him in a drama recently with Florence Pugh, and I can't remember the name of it, but he was very good in that. I feel like he was very solid. Played a different character than what I usually see him as. So. Oh, do we have a new Black photo? Do we have a new Black Phone 2 poster? That's awesome. That's exciting. I'm gonna have to look that up. I am very excited for the Black Phone 2, dude. Very hyped for all that. ASMR Ty is saying, I pray Strangers 2 is good. It looks different, but damn, I hope it's good too, man. I need a good Strangers movie in my life and not whatever that chapter 1 was. Why does nobody talk about Stranger Things a lot when it comes to horror, like updates or anything, or is it just too cultural? You know, what's really funny about that, Tyler, is like I've tried to do Stranger Things updates. It's a show that I love. Nobody watches them. I cannot get people to watch Stranger Things updates. I don't know what it is. Maybe people are sick of it. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where people are just sick of Stranger Things. I cannot get views on Stranger Things stuff. I have tried. And I think it's such an interesting show to talk about. I could come up with a million theories about what's going to happen in season 5 with all the different storylines and characters and whatnot. And I just can't get people to watch it. I don't know what it is. I've heard from other YouTube channels too. Have said the same thing. They're like, I can't get people to watch. I genuinely can't get people to watch Stranger Things stuff. I don't know what it is. Seems like there's just not as big of a fan base here on YouTube. It is interesting though. If you go to different platforms, there's just different kinds of people that are excited for different things. Here on YouTube, it's fucking Scream. In the horror space, it's Scream is the biggest thing, without a doubt, like by far, by a wide margin. But then on TikTok, it's a totally different story. Like I've been posting on there recently. By the way, go follow me on TikTok if you haven't. It's interesting because I feel like the Scream videos, like they're doing well. They're not doing bad on TikTok, but like the Saw stuff and the Final Destination stuff doing way better, which I think is really interesting. But it's, I don't know, different platforms, different people, I guess, is kind of the vibe. And I think that's so interesting. I don't know. Froggy Fresh Shitpost is saying, Jake, I know that you don't like your first videos. Who does? But I just want to be able to speak clearly without it sounding unnatural, and it's so difficult. How were you able to do it from day one? You know, what's really funny about this Froggy Fresh Shitpost is when I was a little kid, I spoke too fast. I actually spoke too fast that no one could understand me. And they sent me to speech school. Like they actually sent me to a place to learn how to talk properly. And I remember, like they did too good of a job, because when I went back to, when I made it to middle school finally, the kids used to make fun of me for my voice. And I used to, you know, I talk like this in real life, which a lot of people don't like. People are like, I get comments like this all the time. They're like, a fake news reporter voice, you suck. And I'm like, no, this is just how I talk, because I was trained to talk like this, because I used to talk like this all the time. I was like, hey, like just crazy fast. I just would not slow down. I still say ums and uhs though, so maybe they didn't do a good enough job. No, but there's another one. I actually went to speech school, I guess is my point. I actually had to like go somewhere to learn how to talk properly, because I talked way too damn fast. Like if you think I talk fast now, dude, it was worse a long time ago. So when I started doing, honestly, when I started doing YouTube though, I was screaming. I was like literally screaming into the microphone horror updates, and I hated those videos. But honestly, I think it sounds stupid, but it's like practice really does make perfect. Most people talk every single day, but can you talk in a way that is like actually interesting? You know what I mean? I know that I'm not trying to sound like a dick or anything, but it's like, can you, you know, fluctuate your voice in a way that sounds a little more, you know, like, this is something kind of interesting. Like, honestly, do a voice. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but like, don't talk like this, you know, don't do a silly voice like this, you know, where you got a little bit of a whistle. No, just like go nuts, you know, enunciate things, you know, just focus a little more, like actually perform, I guess is my point. Instead of just being like, you know, today there was a new update on something, you know, like you're making a YouTube video, you're performing, you're making entertainment for someone else to watch. You know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of YouTubers who start off, I feel like that's where they like, I think they're just like doing like a vlog. You know what I mean? Like when I approach a video, I'm looking at it as like I'm making an episode of a television show. That's kind of how I look at it. And I'm trying to, like, I'm writing jokes. I interlace like little intricate details of something interesting. If you can make that happen in a YouTube video, like you'll get a following. Johnny Hideout UK, thank you for the 5, my friend. I really appreciate that support. Saying that was awesome advice, doing something good for yourself. You are a horror enthusiast, horror life coach. I love that. Nice to be back here live. Thanks for being here, Johnny Hideout. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for the 5, man. Yeah, I've done a lot of work on myself in the last 5 years, last 5 or 6 years, mental health wise. So I've studied horror as a genre the last, you know, half decade or so, and also just mental health. I'll be completely honest. I've been very open about this in the last couple of years or so. I've been okay to talk about it then, but I was in a very bad place back in the late 2010s, mentally speaking. And you have to work. It's just stuff you have to work on. I don't think you realize, like, I don't think I realized as a young adult, a young man, that like you had to work on things like your mental health. But once I started actually like doing that for myself, it's little things like that. It gets you out of bed in the morning. It makes you just genuinely feel better. I just started doing more things for myself like that. I mean, I do just like little things like that in the morning. I do like little workouts for myself. I started eating mostly healthier. I used to eat so poorly. Like I still eat too much, but it was worse. It was worse a long time ago. And I mean, it's little things like that. And I feel better. You know, I'm actually taking care of myself. It's things like that you can see as just like, oh, well, I don't want to do that because I'm just tired or something. But go the extra mile, take care of yourself. You know, you deserve it. You do. Don't think you don't. Everyone deserves to be taken care of, and you know, and all that fun stuff. So I think once you really get that beaten down in your brain, life is just better. Like life can be better, and you just have to believe it can be even better than how it already is. So do things for yourself, do things positive for yourself, and you're gonna be better off for it. And that's all I can say. But Johnny, thank you for the $5 again. I really do appreciate it. I'm always here for I'm always here for life coaching, I guess. Always down for that. Ghostface is saying, Jake, I was thinking, imagine they show in a flashback that Stu indeed survived, but then got killed by Roman before Roman got killed. Dude, listen, what's really funny about that? What's really funny about that is the Stu truthers would lose their fucking minds. They're like, he lived, but he's been dead all this time anyways. Like, oh, the middle fingers out. I mean, it would just be like, people would get so mad. It would be kind of funny though. Honestly, it would be a little silly to be like, he did live for a little while, but died ultimately in captivity or something. That could be really, you know what? I would like that. I don't think a lot of the people here in the chat would, though. I will say I might not want Stu to come back. I have my reasons. You heard me talk about it a million times, but I get it. I get why people want to see Stu back. I mean, he's the most entertaining Ghostface, without a doubt. I think in terms of like who gives the best, most outrageous performance in the third act, it's Matthew Lillard as Stu all day. I mean, across all 6 of these movies, which is the performance I like watching the most? It's him, totally, without a doubt. I get why people want to see him back. But like, I just don't think this is like, just knowing that character, knowing, you know, analyzing that character and who he was in that original movie, I just don't see him being this like mastermind killer that, you know, so many are making him out to be. I hate using this word because I feel like there's so many influencers that spin this a certain way, but he's a beta. You know what I mean? He's just following Billy's lead. He's not exactly in charge of the operation. I just don't, even if he was alive, I don't think he would be the kind of guy to have the guts to be like, follow me. I'm the Ghostface captain. You know what I mean? I'm the leader of this whole, no, that's not Stu. That's not Stu Macher as a character. When he's asked what his motive is in the original Scream, the only thing he has to offer up is peer pressure. Billy pushed him to do it. Billy, what does that say about not Billy, but what does that say about Stu? That he's easily convinced. He's not a leader. He's a follower. And I feel like that's just why I don't see him be like, even if he was alive, I don't see him being this mastermind killer in this new movie. And A. Krenich, I totally agree. I think Billy and Stu were totally queer coded. I mean, we have Matthew Lillard even admitting that they were totally in a relationship. And honestly, I believe it, dude. There's so many little hints of that in the original flick. But I also think that Stu is someone that is just inherently a flawed character, and that's what makes him kind of a perfect villain. He's a flawed character who does not want to change, and I think that's what ultimately leads to his villainy, to his just running around killing people, thinking he can get away with that. There's a lot of little tiny things about that original Scream that are so interesting, very subtle, that I think work really well for me in the original Scream. And one of the things is how misogynistic Stu is. I mean, think about how many things he says to Tatum that's just so demeaning and condescending. He said like just so much shit. Like watch the movie again and listen to, just pay attention to Stu's conversation with Tatum. Dude, it's crazy. I'm like, if this came from any other character, I'd be like, this guy sucks balls. But you like Stu because most of the time the things you remember about him are his goofy antics, right? But he's a misogynistic prick, dude. Oh my God. I mean, I want to slap him in the face half the time after really paying attention to some of that stuff. But Stu is a very complicated character. Not complicated in the sense that he could lead a cult, but complicated in the sense that he's inherently very flawed, and that's why he ends up in the situation that he does, and that's why I feel like that original Scream movie is just so well written. It's so well understood. Every character is just so rich, so fruitful. Like Kevin Williamson understood the assignment with writing all these different characters, and the people also talk about this too. Like what if Scream 96 ended with different characters being revealed as the killers? And I'm just like, you couldn't do that. Like you just genuinely could not reveal anybody else as the killers. Stu and Billy are the perfect choice. Anything else would pale in comparison, I guess is my point. I really want to do a video on that one day. That might be something really fun. Just like talk about all the other characters, like what their motive would be if they were Ghostface, but then ultimately end on the point of, but Billy and Stu are the best choices. There's no doubt about it, you know? I would love to do a video, like kind of analyze each Scream film and talk. I'm doing that. You know what? I'm going to shut up right now before anyone steals my idea. I'm doing that right now. That's a really good idea. Okay, anyways, let's get back to it. Albie is saying, hi, Jake. Go to Google and write the Black Phone 2 poster. It's cool. The grabber fights the cyst fighting like Gwenny or something. Hang on, I gotta see this, dude. Because like I'm so down for some of that Black Phone 2 poster. I don't know why I'm whispering. Girl, are you lying to me right now? Where is this poster? Where is this hang on now. Hang on. Wait. I'm really not seeing it. Him fighting the... I'm going to go on Bloody Disgusting. They'll have it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Why am I not finding this thing? Hang on now. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing so that we can have a little bit of fun in 2 seconds. Let me look up. Let me see if I can find this, then I'll put it up on screen. Ooh, the 1978 cult classic killer doll movie Magic starring Anthony Hopkins is getting a remake from producer Sam Raimi. The project will be written by Mark Swift and Damian Shannon, who wrote Freddy vs. Jason and the Friday the 13th remake. That's kind of cool. They're remaking that the puppet horror movie. Okay, I'm into that. Why am I not seeing this Black Phone poster? That feels like it would be news. I feel like that would be a big thing. Girl, I am not seeing this. I'm telling you that right now. I think y'all are gaslighting me into just stopping the stream for a minute so I scroll through Twitter and Instagram looking for shit. Okay. I don't know. I can't find it. I'll find it later. Sorry. Sean stealing that idea now. I gotta get working on it. I gotta move fast. Yo, Jake, I think I asked you this, but who released the trailer for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple? I saw you did a video on it, but I haven't watched it yet. Who released it? Like, it comes from, I think Sony's the distributor of those movies, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sony's the company behind that, but behind those movies. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, it's been out since very early this morning. I woke up this morning thinking like, oh, it's probably going to drop at like 9 or something, but I always forget like that. Those are, you know, they're British movies. So they release them like at a kind of like morning time for them, which is like 3 a.m. my time basically. So I'm just like, fuck, shit. It's been out for like hours by the time I woke up at 6 this morning. Yeah, by the way, I wake up at 6 every morning and I have breakfast and I start making videos at 7 o'clock. You thought being a YouTuber would be fun. No, I still wake up early. Okay, let me let me make that very clear. Jake, what were your thoughts on the Happy Death Day movies? I've been watching time travel horrors for some reason. I love them. I think they're a ton of fun. You know, don't expect to be terrified. Don't expect to piss your pants or anything. But like, they're a fun time. They're Christopher Landon's Scream-inspired supernatural slashers. Is how I feel about them. They're very good. The first one's awesome. The second one's okay. That's kind of mostly, I still enjoy watching the second one, but like the first one's where it's at. You know what I'm talking about? Have I gotten any horror collectibles lately? My girlfriend, not my girlfriend, my fiance gave me that little Jack Skellington up there, which is kind of cute. He's a little guy. He's just a cute little guy. And also my friend Allie painted that for me based on Chicken Man, which is pretty cool. That's why it's up on the set. So that was actually featured in the background of the Chicken Man short film. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but part of the budget went towards some set deck, and that was one of the things. So that's I all I told her was the premise of the short, and that's what she cooked up was this little bad boy back here. I'm gonna put it a little closer to the screen if I don't choke myself with this headset. Ugh, this thing is it's pretty fucking creepy though. It's pretty nasty. All I told her the concept was like he's this dude who puts on this mask and he can see his kid, basically. He can see his dead kid, and the kid's telling him to do bad things, like kill people. And that's all I told her, and she cooked this up, and it's pretty terrifying. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I wish I was that skinny though. That's the that's the one thing about it where I'm like, you got that wrong. But besides that, I think it's pretty cool. So check out my little short slasher film, Chicken Man. It's pretty gross. In the first minute, I smash somebody's head into pieces and pop a cyst on my stomach the size of a hamster. So it's a good time, really, is what it is. For Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, will Strangers 2 be better than Conjuring 4 since both are coming off bad movies from 3 and Strangers Chapter 1? Man, if I was a betting man, I think I'm probably going to like Conjuring 4 more because, dude, Strangers Chapter 2 was a fucking disaster. Here's the other interesting thing between that comparison. They're also both coming from the same creatives as the previous time around. But I think I have a little more faith in Conjuring 4 just because, like, it's still James Wan produced, like, and it's also the last one. Like, it's also like, this is it for The Conjuring. This is the last bit of something that we're going to get from this universe. That's how we're going to remember it. So this kind of has to be something good if they plan on doing, like, the TV series or whatever based on that universe, like they're kind of talking about. I think I have a little more faith in Conjuring 4. I think Strangers Chapter 2 is going to try to be good. I really think there's going to be effort put in there to make it better, but I think it's ultimately going to be a jumbled mess, which is really going to bum me out big time. Because I love the first 2 Strangers movies. When I heard that they were doing 3 new Strangers, I'm like, rock on, let's go, baby. I'm sold. The first 2 are, I love them both for totally different reasons, and I'm like, I have no idea what we're getting from 3 more movies. Let's check it out. And Strangers Chapter 1 was an unbelievable, like, it's like the worst thing they possibly could have done. It is the worst thing they possibly could have done for that franchise is try to set up a movie that's going to explain away everything about the Strangers. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It's like you just don't get what's cool about the original Strangers, I guess. Crazy to me. I don't know. Pat and Jester is saying never seen Strangers Chapter 1. You don't need to. You really don't need. It's a major skip. It is a major skip. Tyler is saying, what if Gail had a depression arc in Scream 7 and actually slowly faded away without Ghostface, like Tara said, and started writing the Dewey book, especially of the rumor of her running over a mental patient? I don't know. I guess I kind of want to see Gail involved. I'm hearing that she's from what I've heard, it sounds like she's very involved with the mystery alongside Sydney throughout this one, which is cool. Sounds very Scream 4 to me, which is dope. Everyone who I know who knows a little bit of something about Scream 7, pretty much across the board have told me that it's like a mixture of Scream 4 and Scream 6. Like, if you put those 2 movies in a blender, took the best parts of them and put them together, that's Scream 7. And honestly, that's why I'm like crazy excited for it. Like, from what I know about it, it sounds like it's trying to do those like ambitious swings that breaks the formula, but doing that with familiar characters. That's how, from what I know, that's kind of the way it comes off to me. And that's kind of why I'm really excited for Scream 7, is because it's like, oh, that actually sounds like something good. Because when they initially announced, like, hey, we don't have a director anymore, so we're going to make the original writer the director because we're desperate. Like, that's how it came off to me. It's just like, this is so desperate to get people to come back on board the Scream train after everything that's happened. Let's jangle some keys in front of the fans' faces. That's how it came off. And I'm just like, I know some people were initially excited, but it feels like a ruse. It feels like they're tricking us into coming to the theater to see another Scream movie. That's kind of how it came off when it all got announced. But hearing that the product is actually something a little more ambitious. It's not just a basic, return to form where they do nothing different than the original movie. I'm like, okay, I can get into something like that. Recently, we had a quote from Matt Tomlinson, who's one of the writers of the new Batman movie, the Batman and Batman Part 2 or whatever that's coming out soon. He said something along the lines of, the only reason that you should make a sequel to anything, like I'm paraphrasing him, but the only reason you should make a sequel to anything is if you think you can top what came before it. With Scream, that sounds next to impossible, but the only way I think you could do something that would still impress fans of that original flick is doing something shocking, is doing something that could still pull the wool over their eyes. Can you set up a story with these characters where it still gets us? It's still something we haven't seen yet in the franchise. And to me, I feel like you have to do that with the new Scream. That's the only way. That's the only way you can keep this franchise fresh. Talk about some new shit commentary wise. Pull some new fucking gags. You know what I mean? How many more tricks does Ghostface have up his sleeve? That's what I want to know about. That's what I'm curious on. Paula Fitzhenry is late. It's all good. No worries. Thanks for hanging out with us, Paula. We greatly appreciate you. Thanks for being here. For Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, I know you're a 2025 I Know What You Did Last Summer hater. I am, but I'm proudly a hater of that movie. But I forgot to tell you, Regal gave me their popcorn bucket tackle box for free last month when I saw it together. Dude, that's pretty cool though. I mean, that's sick. I remember seeing the tackle box popcorn bucket. It looked fun. Looked like a cool little thing. So that's probably a sick thing to put on like a shelf somewhere, right? No, I dig that. I think that's awesome. One more thing, and I think we're going to sign off here, but Erica is throwing out the link to GullGotha. Ladies and gentlemen, please go subscribe to the gaming channel if you have not already. Over there, we're about to play some Dead by Daylight tomorrow on a really nasty little stream. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're having a meeting tonight regarding the future of that page, so I don't think we're doing a stream. I wanted to do a stream tonight, but I don't think it's going to happen. But definitely go subscribe. Go check it out. Go hit that little red button over on that page. It would mean a great deal to Jake. And maybe more than anything, please check out the new video today. 28 years later video. I put a lot of work into that one, doing a ton of research into where I think this movie is going next, and just analyzing that little 2-minute trailer we got, looking at things in the background, all that fun jazz. So please go check that out. Thank you for the support today, ladies and gentlemen, on stream. We'll be live again on Friday talking about something. We'll tier listing and ranking something. So definitely stop by on Friday for that fun stream. And again, tomorrow, stream on GullGotha. Definitely stop by for that too. It's going to be fun. Playing some Dead by Daylight. Thank you all again for watching. Please subscribe. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.